Hi, this is Mary from Front Porch Ideas and More. Today I'm going to be showing you how I sewed autumn pillows for our front porch and how you might do the same thing for your porch. I've already sewn 2 pillows. Here's one and here's the other. They're in a bright orange and brown polka dot fabric, and our porch has a lot of blue on it, so this really pops out on the blue. So the one that we're going to be making today is a little variation on this. It's going to have a leaf on the front of it. So let's just take a look at that. So the one that we're going to make today is going to have an orange, like a batik orange cover, and then a simple, I believe is that an elm leaf? Anyhow, it's going to have a simple autumn leaf motif on the front of it. But before we begin, let me just show you a little bit about how I make pillows, how I make pillow covers. If you take a look at this, you can see that the front has the beautiful batik fabric and the back just has a simple painter's drop cloth. And the reason that I did that is that this fabric is much more expensive than the backing fabric. So you could do the nice fabric on the back if you want, or you could use muslin, or like I did, a painter's drop cloth. So the other thing I want you to notice is that when I make pillows, I always make them so that I can slip the pillow out. So for example, if I want to decorate this pillow for Christmas, I can slip this pillow cover off and put on the new pillow cover. So I'm going to show you how I do the back and how I do the front. So what you need to do is you'll need to have a pillow form or an older pillow that you just want to recover. And you'll need to have some fabric, and it really doesn't take very much. You can get by with less than, well, it depends on the size of your pillow, but around 1/2 yard or a little bit more, but you need to measure your pillow. So what I did is I measure my pillow, and it's a square, and this is an 18-inch pillow, and I just add an inch or 2 around the edge. Make sure you get plenty of room for your seam allowance. So that's the front. Now to make the back, I measured, so let me put the front back on here. To do the back, I cut a piece of this painter's drop cloth and I made it the same width as the pillow cover. As you can see, it's the same width here, but I added some length onto it. And the reason I added the length is because on the back of the pillow, it's like an envelope. So it's actually 2 pieces on the back, and there's a little hem on each side, and you want to have an overlap. So you need to have some extra fabric on the back. So I made this about 10 inches wider. And then all you do, it's very simple because I pretty much make all of my things simple. You just fold it in half, and then I just use scissors and cut it right in half. Just cut it along the fold. Very simple. Now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, and for each half I'm going to just make a little narrow hem like that and then over one more time. And you really don't need to measure. You can just sort of eyeball it. So I'll go to my sewing machine and do that now. So I got a narrow hem sewn onto each of the halves of the back. But before we put the back together with the front, let's decorate the front because it's much easier to do this step before you have the pillow cover sewn together. So let's go back to where we were. I've got my pillow front, the cover of the pillow, and then I cut out a square of the backing. This again is the painter's drop cloth, and I just did an 8-inch square. It could be really any size that you choose, and I made just a narrow hem on it on the back. You can see the narrow hem I did that on my sewing machine, and then we're going to place it on here. And there's several different ways you can decorate. What I'm going to use is I'm going to use this felt leaf that I cut out for our pillow. But there's some other ideas that I came up with as well. If you like to decorate elegantly, I found this beautiful leaf that really sparkles a lot that could go in there, and that's just gorgeous. And I also found I had a bouquet of silk leaves and just cut 2 of them off. You could put a couple silk leaves on. You could glue them on or sew them on. Or you could do something just very, very simple with just some extra buttons that you have laying around, just some autumn colored buttons. These are browns and greens. So just several different ideas. So I guess you just have to pick one way. Another thing you could do is you could turn this on its point like that, and that makes it even more interesting, and put the leaf on like so. But what I'm going to do for our pillows, I'm going to just keep it square with the pillow like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue the felt leaf onto this, and then I'm going to sew this on my machine, and then we'll come back. So I sewed the decoration on the front, and you could actually embellish this more by doing some embroidery around the leaf, or you could outline this in maybe a brown or a black to give it a little bit more emphasis. You could do, you know, just any number of fun things to make your pillow the way that you like it. So now let's just talk about how we finish the pillow cover, especially the back part. So I have the two back pieces that I put the little narrow hem in, and so as with sewing anything, you want to put right sides together. So on the back, actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch this up a little bit. I'm going to put, this is the right side here, so I'm going to take my two back pieces, and this is the right side, and I'm going to match the corners over here on this, and then I'm going to take the other piece and match the corners on the other side like that. And when we turn it inside out, it'll be like an envelope. So then I'm going to just quickly pin around the edges and take this back up to my sewing machine, and I'm going to just sew all the way around. And you don't need to leave an opening because you have the opening right here. So it's a little bit different from a traditional pillow where you don't have the back flap on it. So now I'm going to take this up to my sewing machine, and I'm just going to stitch all the way around the four sides, and I'll be right back. Now I have the front sewn to the back, and we're ready to turn it right side out and put the pillow in and see our finished result. So, and also notice that I put snipped across the corners so that it's not so much fullness when I turn it inside out. So now I'm going to just reach in here and turn it right side out. Takes just a little bit of doing. And I always find that it's helpful if you have some needles handy, that you can pull out the corners a little bit. Just have to sort of reach in and push out the corners. If they don't come out well, then I have pins handy that I can just sort of pull them out a little bit better like that. So once you have it kind of the way you want, you don't have to worry about the corners too much until you try the pillow and make sure it fits. So that's the next thing we'll do. We'll just slide the pillow into this flap here in the back. It's kind of like wrestling with an alligator when you first get it going. You just have to push it in there, bunch it all up, and get it to each side, but it all works out in the end. So it's just a matter of smoothing it out, and then you end up with a very nice flap on the back. And then we turn it over, and look, voila! We have our finished pillow. It turned out really cute, don't you think? Something nice for autumn for your porch. Thanks for watching. This is Mary from Front Porch Ideas and More. See you on the porch.